Well, here it is at last, the ETOE E3 Pro entry-level projector with full Netflix support. And this right here is the film spider, who definitely has to be in this episode, so please stick with me. You're getting another one of my usual projector tests, and I'll cover everything, the light, the sound, and all the rest. I'll share my personal opinion, and we'll talk a bit about the exterior design and the technical specifications too. So, let's dive right in. This here is the ETOE E3 Pro, which is the manufacturer's latest entry-level model. This is the new entry-level projector. By new, I mean that this projector was already on the market 2 years ago, but not exactly this model, rather it was an older version of it. The main difference was that the previous projector had an external TV box inserted into the back of the projector behind a window, whereas this one doesn't. Everything is fully integrated now. Otherwise, there are really no other differences. You get the same brightness, 600 ANSI according to the manufacturer, quiet cooling, and full Netflix support. We have support for it, and naturally, there is Widevine L1 support as well, plus it runs Android TV. So, just looking at the specifications alone, I would definitely say it's very good, especially when you consider they're asking about 47,000 forints for it, which is honestly an incredibly low price for a projector with these kinds of capabilities. But what is the reality with this projector? I do not want to talk too much about the software again, since I've already discussed Android TV a lot, pretty much every single aspect of it. So when I talk about a projector that has it, I always explain that this is an Android system optimized specifically for a TV interface and remote control operation. What that means is it's designed so you can easily control everything just by using a remote. Duh. However, there are some disadvantages as well. For example, any applications that cannot be controlled with a remote on a TV can't be downloaded or installed from the Android store. So there are both pros and cons to consider. But in my opinion, when it comes to using a projector, the most important thing is that watching movies on a Mac should be a perfect experience. And maybe we want to listen to music if that's the case, or look at photos. Streaming should work on it. Since this is a projector and not a mobile phone, it should handle these tasks. And for this purpose, the E3 Pro is perfectly suitable. I don't want to talk too much about the specifications. It has 2 GB of memory, which should theoretically be enough for a full HD projector. Nah, it has enough storage to install a few applications, but as I said before, this is a projector. So you can download and install streaming apps, media players, file browsers, and other things on it, and you can even put a few simple games on it, so that's not a problem either. But let's move on quickly and talk more about what it was like to use this projector. Because, as I mentioned, this is a very cheap projector. Today, with a coupon, it costs 47,900 forints, which is an insanely good price for a projector that has Widevine L1 certification. It runs Android TV, which means we can watch all streaming services in full HD in high resolution. The 600A ANSI lumens is also a decent performance in terms of brightness. And for sound, we get 2 10-watt speakers, which again promise a relatively normal cinematic sound. So let's talk about the sound first. Naturally, there are 2 types of sound to consider here. There's the sound of the cooling fan, which is important, and there's the sound from the projector itself, the cinematic sound, which is also important. The last, out of all the projectors I've had in my experience, the E3 Pro is the quietest one I have ever come across in terms of fan noise, so we're doing really well there. The sound quality is also very good, by the way. These 2 10-watt speakers, considering how small the box is, actually deliver a surprisingly good sound. There's no boxy sound at all. It has great dynamics, and there's even some decent bass. So if you don't want to spend extra money on a separate sound system, I think you'll still get by just fine with this projector. The sound is truly enjoyable. Of course I did. I have also put together a little demonstration for you, which I recorded using an external microphone to capture the best possible sound quality. Please take a moment to listen carefully and see what you think of the result. I hope you found the audio just as convincing and impressive as I did when I first tried it out. With that in mind, let's move forward to the next part of our review. Up next, we will be talking about the brightness. According to the manufacturer's official specifications, this device is rated to deliver a maximum brightness of 600 ANSI lumens, which is a key feature for this model. For this projector, which already seemed a bit much to me right after turning it on, ANSI, as you know, is a weighted brightness measurement. It's not measured at just one spot in the center of the screen, but at several points on the screen, and this value is then weighted. If we measure in lux, we have to multiply it by the size of the projected image to get the ANSI lumen value. In this case, I measured 276 ANSI. I measured this from a distance of 2.8 meters, which I think is a completely normal distance since it can project a 100-inch image. For me, it wasn't even the brightness that bothered me the most, but rather that there were relatively large differences between the center and the edges. In the center, I measured 144 lux, which is actually quite good. In fact, I think it's above average for this category. However, towards the edge of the screen, the values were more like between 90 and 80, which definitely isn't a good sign. In practice, this means that with this projector, you absolutely have to darken the room and do it thoroughly at that. Towards the edges of the screen, if there's a dark scene, some details might already disappear. The brightness in the center is good. The colors there are also good and vibrant. The HDR really shines. There's no problem at all in the middle, but towards the edges, this isn't quite perfect. However, I have to say that with every product, you have to judge its capabilities based on how much it costs. And since this projector is available for under 48,000 forints, I have to say that it's actually a really good projector. So for 48,000 forints, we get a projector that... This is an LCD LED projector with an impressive 30,000 hour lifespan, which features Widevine L1 certification, allowing us to stream a vast variety of content in full HD. And this package, topped off with a remarkably capable and high-quality built-in sound system, in my opinion, makes the ETOE E3 Pro an exceptionally compelling value for your money. And that is the final conclusion of this review. The manufacturer has once again slightly overstated the brightness value, but despite this fact, during actual everyday use, the overall image clarity, image quality, and the brightness levels you experience are definitely more than adequate, especially when considering this price range. So if you are looking to buy a budget-friendly Android TV projector that comes with the official Widevine L1 certification, I would definitely recommend the E3 Pro for your consideration. This is because for this low price point, it represents a really good deal, even if the manufacturer has once again slightly inflated the official brightness specifications. Of course, you will find the link right below the video where you can check it out for yourself, purchase it, and the coupon code will also be there, which lets you get it for under 48,000 forints. There will also be a link provided to the full written article. Please check it out if you're interested in this projector, since you'll find all the specific measured values there regarding both brightness and sound quality. If you really liked this review and found this video helpful, then please check out one of the other 2 reviews appearing right here next to me. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned because I'll be back soon with more reviews. Until then, take care and look after yourselves. And let's look forward to spring together. Bye!